Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 138 in the series Viewers Games. It is the turn of Charbel. Hello Rick, my name is Charbel. I'm 16 years old. Well, that was a while ago. Charbel might have turned 17 since. And I'm from Lebanon. I really like your channel because you analyze very interesting games and also keep me updated on the chess news. I hope this mail finds you well during these difficult times. I have a game that I played recently on chess.com. Please don't make fun on my low rating. Thank you for your videos. You're the best, says Charbel. Thank you, Charbel, for your nice words. And I would never ever make fun of anybody's rating. Charbel was white in this game. As he mentioned, it was played on chess.com. And the time control was 15 minutes per game, plus a 10-second increment per move. Let's see how Charbel got on in this game. He had a rating of 1190. His name on chess.com is Charbel03 and his opponent was A5R7AL with a rating of 1362. So Charbel was up against somebody with a rating of 172 points higher than himself. Charbel opened with the e-pawn, e5, the knights got developed and we get the good old 4 knights game. Here bishop b5 is the main move according to theory. But Charbel plays d4, also a very common move. Usually black takes, but in this case black decided on d6. d5 from Charbel, kicking the knight. The knight went back to e7 and bishop c4. And now black makes a mistake on move 6. A serious mistake. c7, c6, played after only 3 seconds. It just costs material. We'll see why in a minute. Bishop d7 should have been played here, or knight g6. There are other moves as well. c6 is a mistake because now Charbel took on c6. And if you take with the b-pawn, then there is actually knight takes e5, which is a very nice move. Winning a pawn because you cannot take the knight. Why not? You can put the video on pause. What is the refutation of the d takes e5, picking up that piece? Well, there is bishop takes f7 check, the weak f7 point. Not the last time in this video that we're going to talk about that. You have to take, that's the only move. And then the queen is unprotected on d8. White wins. So that after d takes c6 and taking back with the b-pawn. But Charbel's opponent took with the knight. And now Charbel has knight g5. Very nice, putting his finger again on that sore spot on f7, which often plays a key role in double king-pawn openings. Both the knight and the bishop is attacking the weak point. It's only defended by the king, and you cannot really protect it. Protecting it with the queen doesn't really help, because then white takes anyway, and you cannot recapture because you have to recapture with the queen. Bishop e6 is really the only way to protect that f7 point, but then white wins a pawn with knight takes, f takes and bishop takes, as was played in this game. Charbel has won a healthy pawn after only 10 moves against a stronger opponent. Well done Charbel. Queen e7 was played, the bishop drops back to h3 and h6. Charbel castled and now d6, d5 played after 12 seconds. Black must have been frustrated with the development of the opening against a lower rated opponent and now just blunders another pawn. Black played this game more like a blitz game, while Charbel took the time for his moves, as you should do in a rapid game. Why otherwise play a rapid game? If you want to play at blitz speed, play a blitz game. This just drops another pawn, e takes d5, and you cannot recapture because that pawn is protected by the queen. 2 pawns in the back for white. The knight on c6 is attacked, so it went to d4. Bishop e3 developing and queen c7. And Charbel is going to pick off a 3rd pawn with bishop takes d4, e takes d4. And you can take that pawn immediately, but Charbel decides to give a check. First, bishop e7, and now he takes on d4. Black has been very generous with his pawns. Charbel is now 3 pawns up. And we've only played 17 moves. Things are going great so far for him. Black castled. Knight b5 hitting the queen. And you cannot take. On c2 taking 1 pawn back because your bishop is hanging. So after knight b5, black played queen a5, counter-attacking white's knight. And we get a swap of the bishop versus the knight. Bishop e6 check, king stepped aside, and d6. Yes, passed pawns must be pushed indeed. So far, Charbel has played an excellent game for a player of his strength. He's just winning here. Rook fe8, and now Charbel had a very nice move. He didn't find it. Bishop d7 is a very beautiful move, but not easy to find. It's a double attack on queen and rook, and because of that, white will win even more material, because you cannot take the bishop with the knight, because then there is a checkmate on g7. Very nice. Charbel did not find it. I'm not blaming him. That was a difficult move to find. He could also have played bishop f7. That's also a winning move and not as difficult to find, but unfortunately Charbel made a mistake here. He played d7, and that is a bit too hasty. It was played after 1 minute and 44 seconds, and Charbel must have seen the continuation which comes now on the board. It's quite forced. Rook takes, d8 queen, check, promotion. Rook takes, queen takes check, rook interposes, and queen d6. This was all quite forced, as I said, and at first sight it looks like this little tactical exchange has swapped a pair of rooks. Exchanges are to the advantage of the side whose material ahead, but it did cost white a pawn, namely the pawn that has been promoted. But it turns out that the tables have turned, as black can now win white's bishop because of the weakness of white's back rank, and that's quite unlucky for white. The best move in this position is for black to play queen e2, and that does several things. It attacks the bishop a second time. Black is now threatening to win that bishop, and you cannot save the bishop. You cannot play bishop b3, for example, because of a mate in 2, queen e1 check, and checkmate on the next move because of the weak back rank that white has. Is there nothing that white can do against this? No, he's really losing a piece. Bishop c4 doesn't work. It covers the f1 square, so the back rank checkmate is now not possible. That bishop is just hanging on c4. And also a move like h3 to take the back rank out of the position does not work for white, because then the bishop is lost and black has an extra piece. So all that after queen d6 and then queen e2, which wins for black. But black didn't see it and decided to grab a pawn on b2. And now black is only one pawn behind. Attacking the rook, rook d1, and queen takes c2, restoring material equality. And the position is about equal now. Bit unlucky for white that with that d6, d7 push he gave away all his advantage. Bishop b3, hitting the queen, queen e2, h3 to take anything on the back rank out of the position. b5, queen c7, a6, and we'll see the heavy pieces come off the board. Rook d8, queen e1 check, king h2, rook takes, queen takes, and black hurries back with the queen, and those queens get swapped. We now have a very difficult endgame where white is slightly better. As the bishop is a long-range piece, it's usually stronger than a knight in endgames with pawns on both flanks. King g3 from Charbel. Of course, in an endgame like this you have to activate your king. Knight d6, f4, and a5. This is a very difficult position. Black has a potential passed pawn on the queen side, while white has a potential passed pawn on the king side. Unfortunately, Charbel makes the mistake straight away. He should have played something like king f3 here, and he's still slightly better. But he played a4, another unfortunate pawn push. Because black can now win with the very nice move knight e4 check. Those knights are tricky pieces. You cannot go to f3, because then there is knight d2 check, and that wins the bishop, and will win the game because of the fork. So after knight e4 check you have to go to g4, and then there is knight c5, and that wins a pawn. The bishop is attacked, but also the pawn is attacked twice now. White will have to save the bishop, and then black will take the pawn, and will win this game. So a4 was a bad move from Charbel. But black didn't see it. He played b4 after only 7 seconds. He misses his chance. But he will get a second chance very soon because Charbel plays h4 here after only 4 seconds. He just missed black's idea. And now black does grab his chance with knight e4 check. Again, you cannot go to f3 because of the fork that we just saw that's still there. White is very unlucky that he cannot hurry with the king to the queen side where the danger is. So after knight e4 check he had to go to g4. And knight d2 came anyway, and now it doesn't win the bishop, but now the b-pawn, black's b-pawn will go through, as we'll see. The knight is ideally placed on that square, covering both light squares on the b-file. Charbel has to save the bishop, and there goes the b-pawn, and there's nothing that he can do against it. Bishop d3 and b2, king h5, and black makes a new queen. That queen has to be taken, of course. Knight takes, and black is a piece up, and the rest is easy. Black did not really deserve to win this game, but as it often goes in chess, the player who makes the second to last mistakes wins the game. Let's see the remaining moves. There's not really much to comment on. The a-pawn is now lost as well, and then black's a-pawn will go through. Let's just go through the moves. White cannot stop the a-pawn, and he's not able to do anything with his pawn majority on the king side. The knight is there, and also black's king is there to stop those pawns. Let's just go through the remaining moves. Everything comes off the board apart from black's a-pawn, which queens, and Charbel played all the way till the end. He made his life and his suffering a bit shorter by going to the h-file. If he had gone to the f-file, his king would be in the open and he could have played a few more moves. On the h-file he is cut off, and black just brings the king around, chases white's king, and then we see a checkmate on the g2 square. Charbel, you played a very good game and were quite unlucky to lose it. You really only made 2 mistakes. Both were pawn pushes that were made too hastily, d7 and a4. Both moves were a rush of blood. Apart from that, you played a truly excellent game for someone with a rating of 1190. Well done, Charbel, and thanks for sharing this game. Well played! If you would like your game to be analyzed on the Chess to Impress YouTube channel, you can send it to me by email to classroomchess64@gmail.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you like the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.